from ResilientYou. Hello, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Greg?
I am doing fantastic. Thanks for coming on.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thanks.
Good to see you. Yeah, I wanted to have you on to go over your story and go over the latest and greatest updates for ResilientYou. Full disclosure for any viewers, I do sit on the board of directors as well, but there are so many exciting things that I really wanted to get Steve himself on here to go over them.
Well, it's great to have you on our board and to be able to work on wonderful things that make a difference.
Absolutely. How about you? Tell us what's going on. What's going on over here at ResilientYou?
Oh, do you know what? Right now, we are just having a great time. My wife and I, we have a wonderful opportunity to work together. We're the founders and creators of the nonprofit ResilientYou. And it basically houses part of a program that has been kind of our life's work in education with children and families. And we want to really build connections that, create connections that can build resilience in children and families. And we have a lot of different ways we do that. Right now, we're working on a television special that will be seen all around the world through the American Forces Network to the military members and their families, and also here in parts of the West on the CBS affiliate channels. And we're kind of spreading kind of the hope of tomorrow and the spirit of America. We kind of do that around the holiday season because we really want to spread the message of hope and resilience with children and families, and just let everybody know that although we've had some challenging times, especially recently, that look how resilient we are and what we've accomplished. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, there's so many incredible things going on, especially here, and especially with ResilientYou, right? I see the impact that we're having on so many people and so many children. Why don't you tell us a little bit about ResilientYou and what we do over there?
Well, absolutely. We're so excited to be able to help create these connections that build resilience. And right now, our focus especially is on what's called the child connection, because we want to help children as they make these formative decisions in their lives that will affect their future. And we have a learning system that encourages this connection, fostering communication between parent and child, teacher and student in the classroom. And we want to provide families with tools and skills and experiences that help them overcome life's hardships and challenges, and also navigate mental health challenges as well. And we accomplish this through using the power of music and the science of music and making learning fun. Isn't that wonderful when we can learn and yet have fun? Like, look how you learned your ABCs, right?
Yeah.
And when we are able to use music and set these messages to music in a fun and entertaining way, we found that this is extremely effective with children.
Absolutely. Music definitely carries and helps people retain so much more effectively. I mean, you mentioned it briefly, right? You learn your ABCs through song. You learn so many other things through song, right?
That's right.
I think that as we grow, we tend to forget that. We tend to discount it, or we tend to not really think twice about it. But with ResilientYou, we really bring that up to the forefront and help teach kids how to deal with the complex human behaviors that will affect them mentally and emotionally for the rest of their lives, I would say.
Yeah. That's very true. And, I'm just so privileged. I have a background in music. I grew up in music, and my wife is very musical. Our whole family is musical. And we kind of are dedicated to using music to be able to make a difference in the lives of other people in different ways. And I mean, look at what you do in the advertising world, right? Music is used as a jingle all the time to be able to brand product and logos and concepts and stuff all the time. and we
Yeah.
want to kind of use that for good.
Yeah, and by leveraging that, you're able to help with the retention. So many kids are learning these coping mechanisms that that their parents may teach them, that teachers may drive very effectively or work really hard, I guess I should say, to try to teach them. But this helps teach them coping mechanisms that are easily retained. Hopefully that made sense.
Well, it does. Retention is super important. But look at what's happened during your life through music, even in the advertising business. So, for example, if I were to sing for you right now, give me a break,
Oh yeah,
all of a sudden in your mind, you
right.
immediately go back to, if you've heard it, break me
Yeah.
off a piece of that Kit Kat bar, right? And I actually use that kind of exercise in a lot of the trainings that I give, is
Mhm.
that I will actually bring back commercials that some people haven't heard for a long time. In fact, there have been a lot of trainings where I have brought commercials, actually jingles, to the attention of the attendees. And I go to sing the first part, and it's been over 30 years since some of these people have heard this commercial. Now you're a lot younger than I am, but like if I were to sing, for some of you people who are around my age out there, if I were to sing, I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, and then a lot of times the young people kind of look bewildered, and you have some of these older friends out there, and then they sing, would you like to be a pepper too? And it has been decades since that commercial has been on TV, but in a millisecond the
Oh,
brain actually retrieved that information based on the musical hook that information was set to. And so there is a science of music and the science of the power of the hook and the jingle. And we use that to be able to take research-based concepts and universal values like no underage drinking, stay away from drugs, alcohol, violence, crime, believe in yourself. We were able to take these essential messages and to put them to catchy music, to that musical hook, and be able to teach that in a way. So then when you hear it over and over again, then it literally brands in such a positive way, a special place for the brain that's there for future retention too. And there's a guy, he's from Search Institute. He's a founder of Search Institute, and he actually said good prevention is planned redundancy, if
oh
you
yeah.
think about that. And so if you have the power of music or the power of the hook in as it pertains to the advertising business, you can actually have something very, very catchy. Well, it creates what is called, scientists have called it a cognitive itch,
Yeah.
because then you want to hear it over again. And when you do hear it over again, that scratches that itch, and the repetition over and over again creates that phenomenon that happens in your brain. And then you retain that information based on that musical hook. So that's kind of the science of music that we use, but I think it's really fun.
Yeah, and it's solid science too. We all have those things that we recall, right? Speaking of music, right? Uh, no, we all have those songs, for instance. We can hear the first couple of chords even before the lyrics have begun, and we already know exactly what song that is. We already know how the rest of the song goes, right?
Yeah.
And this is building up that cognitive basis where then they're able to recall a lot of those coping mechanisms which are built into that music and be able to use those lessons, if you will, to be able to have that recall and put them into effect.
And and that's so true. And at the same time, it's really interesting because, especially music from your past, look how not only does it remind you of a certain period of time, but it literally can bring back emotions, and it can bring back a memory. It can take you back to junior prom. It could take you back to a situation when you were younger. That just happened to me yesterday. I heard an old John Denver song, and my mind not only went back to this memory as a kid, but I felt like I was back in the 70s. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just amazing how immediately not only do you reflect and it's associated with information, but in the same token, you can have these memories and emotions that accompany those memories.
100%. Yeah, mine is, Metallica, right? My,
Exactly.
my stepdad and I used to sit in the car and just listen to the music, just to chill for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I heard it the other day, and I could feel myself back in that car. Like, I was there, right?
Yeah.
Um, figuratively speaking, of course, but I remembered everything about that moment.
So,
I
for
think
example, um, there's a song in our curriculum that that it's called "Sticks and Stones," and it's about
Mhm.
bullying. And the chorus kind of goes, "You're gonna find inside I'm stronger than sticks and stones." And anyway, there's a the verses kind of say like, if you call me names, if you play your games, you can do whatever you want to, but it's not going to hurt me now or when I'm grown. You're going to find inside I'm stronger than sticks and stones. And it's set to the music, by the way, that I use for these songs that I write are based on universal musical styles. So this particular song is a rock and roll Elvis kind of song, you know, and so you're going to find inside I'm stronger than sticks and stones. And you repeat that over and over again, but by the time you're done even singing the song for the first time, you remember that hook of the chorus, right? And then
Mhm.
over a period of time, well, hopefully that message sticks with kids. Well, I was contacted not too long ago by a mother who said that her son, who had been listening to these songs in school, but also at home, he was faced with the situation playing his first soccer game where some kids were being really hard, and there was one in particular that was really bullying him. And it really stressed the mother so much that she was in tears. And she got back to the car with her kid and she said, "I am so sorry that that happened to you." And he turned around and he smiled and confidently said, "It's okay, Mom. I'm stronger than sticks and stones."
Mm.
And you know,
Wow.
it's so wonderful where you hear the results um, of the of the purpose and the mission of our organization and the music that I write.
Yeah.
Um, I got a call from a principal, and she said that two kids were walking, well, two sisters were walking to school, and they were pulled over by a car. And there was a man that they did not know inside that asked him to kind of get in the car and come because he had some brand new puppies that he wants them to see. And
Ooh,
the kids remembered in their mind the words to the Stranger song that
yeah.
said that if you don't know you, it says, "I turn around and run away singing, and I do not know you. I do not know you." And they remembered that lesson and they remembered that song. So they turned around and they ran away and then ran straight to the principal's office and reported the guy. And it was a child abductor that was there. They were able to call the police and such. And the principal
Wow.
called and she said, "I just hope you know the power of the music that
Yeah.
these kids learn and the messages that are contained therein." And gosh, that makes my day. Isn't that
Absolutely.
amazing?
It's always wonderful. It's always wonderful to hear these stories and then also the practical effects, right? These kids
Yeah.
are experiencing things differently because now they have those coping mechanisms and guidance that, we tell them, but it might not stick all the time, right? I mean, they're incredibly intelligent. Don't get me wrong. I just mean like they don't necessarily listen to us all the time. Whereas things like this, like with the music, with the stickiness, with the cognitive basis, is sticks, and then they're able to recall it faster. It's
So in that way,
incredible.
like I said, with Resilient You, we create connections that build resilience. And right now our focus is the child connection. And if you go to resilientyou.org, you can actually go to the child connection section and click on that. And we have been able to film a pilot episode that's called Something Good Incorporated. And it picks 7 of our songs, including our theme song called Resilient,
Mhm.
and we have a professional child host. It's kind of like Nickelodeon goes social emotional. It's just a really entertaining show. But it's a series of 7 songs for each episode, has 7 songs. And this pilot episode has music videos for every song. And then every music video is followed by a question time and then a challenge that's given by the host. And so, for example, you have a song called "I'll Be Nice," and the motif of that song is it's a lot of African sounds of animals and fun things. It's kind of like a Lion King type of a sound.
Yeah.
And then the lesson is to be nice and kind to each other and treat others right. And then the questions will be something like, what can you do to be nice to someone? How can you help someone else? Whatever. And then the challenge is, of course, to be kind. So every song has its questions and challenge that the teachers can review with the students. But more importantly, the parents can review with their kids.
Oh, yeah.
And then through an entertaining way, if we're able to get parents to sit down with their kids, this Child Connection Toolkit provides a way where parents can connect with their children, communicate with their children, asking questions, gathering information, and then set goals and expectations with respect to that. So in our family, let's set a goal to always be nice, to be kind to others, or to believe in yourself, or that we don't bully others. It's important that, and also if we're bullied, that we let the parents and the teachers know. And it opens up this process that when you get parents sitting down with their kids, connecting, opening up dialogue, and setting expectations, studies show that that's one of the most important things we can do to keep kids away from drugs, alcohol, violence, crime, also for suicide prevention, to deal with mental health issues. Look at all of the mental health issues that are out there right now. And not only with kids, but with families in general. And this gives a tool in a very entertaining way that can accomplish this goal.
Absolutely. I love the fact that this really does bring families together too, right? It gives the parents the opportunity to be able to sit down with their children or child and really help them in a way that's going to be impactful, that creates quality time with them. So, Steve, tell us, we're a nonprofit. How can people get involved? How can people donate?
Well, we right now are so excited because we want to not only have our pilot episode, we want to create 10 different episodes that are available for children and families. And we're trying to do this for the classrooms for free because of all the budget cuts that have been out there. But in order to do that, we depend on public support and corporate support, organizational support, be able to allow us to accomplish this. So we right now are going to be filming 10 new episodes this year, but we got to raise money to do that. So if you go to ResilientYou.org, then you can click on donate and then you can pledge an amount and we'll get back with you and or you can mail a check. It gives the address, but that is very needed in order to be able to provide children and families in classrooms with this very important resource, using music to teach these vital principles.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Steve James from ResilientYou. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate your time and have a beautiful day.
Oh, it's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you.